Hi everyone, welcome to Drive and Fail 68. That's not a good start. I'd like to say a massive thanks to Car Vertical for continuing to support my quest for safer roads. My viewer did brilliantly to spot the oncoming driver was not going to stop. Would you have got onto this?
Unbelievable. Absolutely.
There are so many drivers who don't move in their seat to look round the A-pillar. This driving school vehicle wasn't going to stop either.
Well, that's a good example, wasn't it?
This is a hell of a manoeuvre, and watch the driver and their reaction after. The I can do what I want attitude is getting more common. This is also unfortunately getting more common. Are hired bikes in the city that you live in becoming an eyesore? Is this getting more common, or have multi-lane roundabouts always been this bad? You tell me in the comments if you could.
No, Miss Porsche.
Whoa.
No.
What the f*** are you doing?
I know this is a drive and fail video, but this next clip deserves a little bit of an analysis. So we're going to watch the clip first, and I'll come back to you in a moment. My viewer sent this clip in and didn't really give me loads of explanation, apart from she did admit that she maybe should have been in a pocket of space while she was on the roundabout, and I totally agree. But she didn't give me any further information than that. She just let me form my own opinion, which is often what I do anyway. My first opinion was this. I think this was a crash for cash situation. Let me explain why. So even before my viewer exited the motorway, I have a little doubt about the intentions of this blue BMW. If you look at it closely, it only decides to signal and leave when my viewer probably signals. It was impossible to pick out exactly when she did. However, I think that that's a possibility. Were they looking for a victim that they could try and scam? So my viewer exited the motorway. It was actually the M6 toll. And she approached the roundabout with, I think it's the A38 on either side, and it's a roundabout with just the two exits. And my viewer was turning right towards the second exit. For me, there was no issue if the blue BMW had have tried to take the second exit from lane one. There's no road markings to say you can't, but with the layout, I think that was perfectly fine. But the important part to this clip is they shouldn't have gone past the second exit in the left lane, which they did. If they were going to continue round, they should have been in the same position as my viewer. From here, my viewer should be perfectly fine exiting into lane 2 directly in front of them, but they obviously weren't. So after the incident happened, my viewer was all on her own, and the 4 guys in the blue BMW were out and they were walking round. And in the end, my viewer did call the police because the driver wouldn't pass over his details. My viewer has also handed this over to the insurance companies to sort out, so that's why I've blurred all the faces and the registration details. However, my opinion still stands. I think this was a little dodgy. So, because I have the ability to check vehicles out using Car Vertical, guess what I've done? Before we go any further, don't forget, if you use my code Ashley, all the links are going to be in the description. You can find yourself a 20% discount when checking out your next potential purchase. This report did actually throw up some information, but I don't think it has too much to do with this incident. First of all, we can see that the vehicle has been damaged, but there aren't any pictures, so we can't see exactly to what extent. But it was written off. But don't forget, this is not the clip that we've just seen. This incident isn't recorded under the car's history, and as you can probably imagine, the damage wasn't too bad. There's also a warning on this report about the number of owners that this vehicle has had, but I actually don't think it's a big issue, a big deal. Let me explain. When the car's written off, the insurance company effectively takes back ownership. If that insurance company then sold it to someone who's going to repair the car, there's maybe then another change of ownership, and then when the car is repaired and then it's sold on to another person, there's another change of ownership. I don't think the extra information that we've found in this Car Vertical report sheds any further light into the incident that we've been looking at. However, the extra information that we have found in this report could help us decide whether or not that this vehicle would be one that we would purchase or not. In this scenario, I don't think I would have been put off, but I always advise people to get your vehicle checked out before you hand over your hard-earned money. Remember, links are in the description. Use the code Ashley and you can save yourself 20%, giving yourself that extra peace of mind. Thanks, Car Vertical. There's no sound to this clip, but pretty obviously I think my viewer's involved somewhere down the line. How this guy who's towing the caravan is driving is awful, but I think my viewer says or does something when they're alongside. It obviously doesn't deserve the reaction that it gets in a moment, but it reminds us not to engage with anyone on the roads. Watch my viewer's position closely. Is there a little swerve here? I definitely think so, and retribution is going to come back tenfold. This could have easily gone wrong. So wrong. The worst thing about the whole clip though is the standard of the dashcam footage. It's not a VFO. Use the code Ashley, save yourself 5%, links are in the description. Up ahead, the left lane is a left turning lane. Well, not always.
God, fucking hell.
It's the second time in this episode that these bollards have made an appearance. So close to both back wheels coming off the ground there. It's quite difficult to make out, but on the top of the windscreen of the vehicle following, it says Troublemaker. Quite apt, really. I hope the family members see this, and I hope they're really proud.
You're okay, what the f*** are you doing? They're on the wrong side of the road completely. They're on completely.
Why would they do that?
They're
That's
on
so
completely the wrong side of the road. Jesus.
That's so stupid.
Jesus, that
What are they doing? I'm so
Oh,
stupid.
me, man. That's horrendous.
Do you think they knew they must have known the wrong
Yes,
side?
they must have done.
That's so dangerous.
Where would you need to be if you wish to take the next exit? Definitely lane 1, maybe lane 2. But what about lane 4?
My caramba.
Go on then, quick, because you can't because there's a truck behind me.
How's your observations from the driver of this BMW that's coming up behind my viewer on his bike? Couldn't he see the van?
You converted? That's why I told you about me. No worries.
I think it made this driver look even sillier because my viewer was so nice about it. This one again proves the importance of a dashcam. Don't forget the links in the description and use the code Ashley.
Have a dash cam, honey.
I don't actually care that this is probably legal. I think it should be made illegal. Have a look at the steering wheel on this car behind. This is still potentially lethal. How can anyone think they need to be that glued to the phone while operating a car? How about this for a cut of the corner? This was a poor time to start to do a lane change, but it was a good choice to abandon. It's the van on the right that we're watching, and the van in front. The van in front didn't have a clue. A clip from the US. It doesn't amaze me anymore how many people get confused with what red lights mean. This clip shows a great example of some Audi lane discipline. This oncoming driver in a moment was all too happy to get my viewer to reverse, but you can slowly see the realisation creep in.
Take the 5th exit at the roundabout onto Whitehill Way.
What are you doing? You're on the wrong side, man. This is the wrong side. Look, you should be there.
In this scenario, I would advise reversing all the way out, as there was a risk of grounding if you were to perform this manoeuvre. Obviously, that highly depends on your vehicle though. We've all been in this scenario. It's 7 o'clock in the morning and we're trying to get to work. And there's always that one driver who thinks that extra space in front is going to make a big difference to their arrival time. And that said vehicle is now directly behind my viewer Simon. They're taking the next exit off to the left and they have plenty of opportunities to get in. Generally, all you need to do is position yourself next to a pocket of space and ask. And this space to the left was a perfect one to do that, but they want to get even further up the road. Even after the Volvo, there was a little space that they probably could have used. But instead, they're going to get as far up the road as they possibly can, and try and barge in with this Ford. The driver of the Ford fights back, and I know some people think that this will teach the driver of the Nissan a lesson, but honestly, you can't teach plums like this. And this clip proves it, because there seems to be a little bit of afters. The entitlement of the driver of this Nissan, how dare you not let me in when I wanted to go? If anyone knows the driver of this Nissan, please show them the clip and show them how silly they actually look. It probably only got them another 2 or 3 car lengths further up the road. Pointless. To finish, just a little reminder of taking care when the roads are icy around the Christmas period. Keep safe everyone, I'll see you soon. Did anyone else notice that it was actually the brake that increased the rotation of this spin?